Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Microsoft Azure AI Masterclass, Build NLP Solutions with Azure AI. Presenting today's topic is Gino Joseph. Gino is a Microsoft certified trainer with over 6 years of experience in the technical field. Gino's expertise is in Microsoft Azure, Power Platform, and data science technologies. He has successfully delivered numerous corporate trainings to date and consulting assignments for various clients across the globe. Please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is from the Data and AI practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session will cover insights into analyzing text, building question-answer systems, creating conversational AI models, text classification, language translation, and speech-enabled applications. This masterclass has been designed to provide hands-on sessions designed to equip you with the skills and knowledge necessary to secure your Azure AI environment. In addition, participants will get guidance on effectively preparing for the AI 3003 certification course and the exam in today's session. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Gino, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you very much, Tracy, for that initial introduction. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you for this masterclass on building NLP solutions with Azure AI. Before I quickly get started with today's session, let me give you a quick introduction about me, myself. Gino Joseph. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, okay, in the capacity for technical trainer here, Netcom Learning. I come with 7+ years of experience into the domain of training, predominantly dealing with technologies with respect to that of artificial intelligence, data platform, and power platform as such around the. And definitely with Gen AI solutions, definitely I'm someone who has been closely been involved into delivering trainings on those levels. So very excited in terms of taking you through this masterclass on building NLP solutions with Azure AI. As a matter of fact, let's quickly get started. Maybe we get started with initial agenda, maybe. A lot of interesting stuff or maybe capabilities with respect to NLP is what I look forward to discuss. And then probably we'll identify certain scenarios or maybe say certain skills that can be integrated into your existing software applications to make them artificially intelligent with NLP capabilities for that matter. So let me give you a quick overview of what we're going to be discussing. All right. We, as a part of the agenda, I look forward to discuss on these five facets very importantly. We will get started to talk about Azure AI language service. Since it's NLP solutions that we are supposed to be discussing, I have some slides, very initial slides. Maybe some of you might have an vague understanding of what NLP stands for. Uh, just to clear things around, we will discuss around with NLP, what is NLP, okay, especially the context of Azure, what NLP has to offer. And then we will particularly cherry pick a particular service in the Azure, which is called as the Azure AI language service. All right. And we will see how particularly we can use AI language service when it comes to working with, say, extracting certain features from your maybe text, maybe from your speech as such around there. Then we will talk about a very interesting solution that can be built with Azure. Okay. And that's going to be your question answering solutions. So this is where I will look towards working or maybe say working with a particular static knowledge base and make applications to generate, say, responses. All right. To the to the questions asked on it. So on the forefront, you might think that, hey, this looks like more of a very, say, a Q&A kind of a maybe a one-to-one and question answering solution. But yes, on the backdrop, there is an AI element that works when it comes to generating responses or maybe giving static answers to the questions asked by the end user. I will, we will talk about, say, what are the possibilities of maybe integration of artificial intelligence model with Azure bot service. Okay, we'll just discuss on that. We will have an understanding of what bot service has to do. All right, integrates its capabilities. We will try to discuss on that. Because again, conversational AI deploys the capabilities of NLP coming into role today. So if you are someone who is a pro developer or maybe say who want to say build extensive bot solutions, the bot service is something that can be taken into account. Okay. And then we will talk about the custom text classification, all right, using Azure AI. It's again a kind of a custom solution that can be say crafted using Azure AI services, which can be used for classifying your text inputs as such around there. So we will work with certain documents. I'll show you that how that particular project can be trained upon and how applications can send the data and definitely what retrieve the results as such around there. And we'll also talk about, say, particularly about building speech-enabled applications, all right, in your Azure. Not all, again, there are time constraints here, right? So we will ensure that we discuss about at least the speech service, all right, that paves the way for building speech-enabled applications in the sense how particularly you can give speech-based inputs as a part of natural language processing and how the AI models at the back end can be deployed or maybe say can be consumed in terms of generating responses or maybe extracting features out of it. And towards the end, we will conclude with certain questions in case if you have any, and try to answer the questions in the best of my capacity to take things forward. So let's get going. All right, where we just discuss on a particular slide or maybe a particular facet of what AI has to offer working with NLP solutions for that matter. So let me give you a quick understanding about NLP before I introduce to you very specifically the services. All right. Um, NLP, as the name suggests, which stands for Natural Language Processing. Uh, when I talk about natural language processing, I'm trying to talk about applications that are capable enough or that have been trained enough on such a way that it can accept natural language inputs from the users. All right. And predominantly, what happens with an NLP solution is that it's always a large text file, definitely. It's a very large text file that we're going to deal with, which consists of the user's input which is say which undergoes a certain pre-processing. All right. Again, I'm not going to get into the in say the internal stuff that or maybe that what goes behind all these pre-processing techniques. But yes, one of the examples is tokenization. You have say lemmatization, and so on, so which can be considered, but what happens is that given that particular, say, raw text, okay, it undergoes pre-processing, and when a technique like tokenization is being involved, all right, so tokens are generated for your input words or maybe the phrases that you have in your raw text, all right. And the outcome of that is that with that particular pre-processing, you come up with a model which is called as the language model. So when we call a model or when we talk about a model, it's something that captures the relationship between the words that were being found in the text, all right, to that of tokens. Okay, so your model is that which relates the attributes. Okay, now it's up to the end user or maybe the need of the business very definitely that maybe in certain instances you're working with your business documents and you want to carefully analyze the document. Okay, running through a series of analysis that needs to be done on that, which is very much possible with your language model. So if you invoke, maybe if you make a call, say if you want to extract the analysis of the text, it's pretty much possible. And there might be certain needs, right? From an say from a business standpoint, maybe you want to know the satisfaction of certain customers on the particular product that you have recently launched on. So that's where maybe you want to go for some kind of what the sentiment mining as such around there. So that's very much possible. Maybe you want to go for translation, right? Given a particular input, you might want to translate it from a particular language to a desired target language for that matter. Maybe say from French, maybe to maybe Chinese, maybe from English to Spanish, and so on. So I'm not sure like whether you have worked along the lines, so you would have seen that like a tool like Copilot, right? Maybe within your teams, maybe within your Outlook and all. See, just with your natural language input, it is capable enough to generate the summary of maybe the conversations, the large, maybe extensive interaction that would have taken place in the context of certain email communications. So you would be able to generate summaries. So that's the reason that's very one reason of the fact that NLP is being deployed on those levels. You can also maybe say extend things to another level whenever you want to say engage into conversations. So conversations, conversations is where you want to train your applications to generate responses or maybe say interact in a dialogue friendly manner for that matter. So it requires a different kind of an intelligence because again, it should be something that is very much flexible. It should accommodate. It should understand. It should be intelligent enough of very specific and the dynamic say input a particular user might bring in at a particular instance for that matter. Be. So that's another kind of an intelligence that can be again a kind of an application scenario again from your customer's perspective for customer services and all you can consider going for conversational AI too. So what's happening here is that all these scenarios, all these kind of features that I'm trying to extract with NLP, all right, given the particular input, the language model at the crux would be responsible for coming up with these kind of solutions as a matter of fact. And then depending upon your need, there are a bunch more, a lot of stuff that can be done earlier. But definitely it's very much possible in the context of a language model. So you say whether when we talk about, say, a tool like ChatGPT, maybe your Copilot, there is NLP coming into role play, definitely for that matter being. All right. Of course, powered by the underlying AI model, which has been carefully, which gets trained, which has been carefully been trained to generate the kind of responses that you're looking at. But typically, when we talk about an NLP, all right, you can give the input via text. It can be via speech too, but always that it transcribes the given speech-based inputs into a text, or maybe a text-based input is considered, and you apply pre-processing on that for the matter being. And then maybe on the need of the hour, or maybe with respect to your needs specifically, you should be able to what extract the specific features. We'll discuss about this in later slides, okay? I'll just show you with some demonstrations too, how particularly your services can be, say, provisioned, and how you can make call and retrieve the specific attribute that you're looking at for that matter being. Now, when we talk about NLP, NLP in itself does not have a specific service in Azure, all right? NLP is that capability of AI, all right? It's a capability of artificial intelligence, all right? It's one of the what do you call it? One of the see that wing of artificial intelligence that deals with natural language inputs via speech, maybe via text, and to empower these kind of applications, or maybe say applications that need that specific intelligence when working with natural language input. There are a lot of, say, features that you might have to extract at specific instances. So for that, okay, you can use the CSV, that is a cloud service provider, which is Azure, which hosts a bunch of services for that matter be. And especially in the context of artificial intelligence, all right, your Azure brings in with a lot of same AI-based services that's available. Now, my scope is not to discuss all the AI services, but yes, we will try to discuss on one or two services that are part of this agenda. One of which is definitely the language service. Number two is the speech service. Then you have translator service, right? You have some custom services that can be taken into consideration, and so and so. So let me show you from the particular portal. All right, this is my Azure portal. All right, from where I can use the capabilities, or maybe say use the feature attributes that can be retrieved with artificial intelligence models that Azure makes it available for that matter being. Since we are talking about AI, all right, and we are going to deal with, say, NLP applications, let me show you some applications that you can work with, okay? Some models that you can work with through certain services. So when it comes to Azure, all right, on this particular web portal, which is portal.azure.com, all right, which is a web portal for managing your, say, cloud-based resources for the matter. So there is a broad category of services that are available in the Azure cloud. All right. So since we are talking about AI, under the AI and machine learning, you will see a bunch of services that you can make use of and choose to work with it for that matter be. So when it comes to AI plus machine learning, all right, again, we will focus on AI-based services. There is a sure difference between machine learning and AI. I'm not going to get into that, but yes, AI with AI services, Azure ensures that you have ready of say off-shelf services that are available, where you need not have to be bothered about or maybe training a specific model. Rather, you can just make request with your say inputs, and the model should be able to generate responses on those levels. That's pretty much possible. So in the Azure, when it comes to NLP applications, all right, you can make use of services like language. All right, you can make use of services like translator. You can use very specifically the speech services. You can also go for Azure multi-service account. Now, language service, your translator service, your speech service, these are standalone services. Okay, standalone in the sense that they come with its own capabilities, definitely. All right. So if you want certain language capable, say language services that needs to be provisioned, definitely you should be able to do that. But your multi-service account is that which will host a bunch of services. Okay. Maybe you want to have one individual service, and again save in terms of maybe the workload overhead that might come in managing different resources, the billing aspects, and so and so. It's pretty much possible with respect to a multi-service account. But yes, you have language, you have speech, you have translators, so and so. So your language service, as I stated, like say it's that particular service on the Azure that can be used with say natural language processing capabilities for that matter. So let me show you how you can create a language service here very quickly, and then maybe that will make sense when we are trying to discuss in the context of the specific applications to work with. Let me create one. Okay, see here. So whenever we talk about language service, it comes with some basic predefined features or attributes that you can work with. All right, in the sense, Azure makes the service available, AI service available to the end user so that you as an user will be able to use these pre-built capabilities. So if you are able to make an API call to the service that is going to be provisioned on the Azure cloud, you should be able to retrieve these features, like maybe if you want to do sentiment analysis, maybe you want to do say key phrase extractions. Okay, maybe you want to work with pre-built question answering solutions. You want to go for CLU, that is conversational language understanding, where applications can accept natural language inputs and you can make them to respond or maybe perform specific actions based upon the intent of the particular input supplied. You can go for named entity recognition whenever you want to say recognized entities, like say maybe an email, maybe a date, maybe a place of a name, so name of a particular place, a person, a date value, a particular object. So these are identified as that of an entity for that matter being. So you can make use of entity recognition capability that is available, and you will be able to extract information on those levels. As a stated, you can see that you can also go for text summarization, can also go for text analytics for health as a matter of fact, which is very much possible. Now, these are some of the default features. I'm going to be discussing this in a while, but again, there are some custom features that Azure AI language service makes you available with. Okay, so there are some custom features whenever you want to create a custom question answering solution, or maybe you want your applications very specifically to classify, all right, to categorize specific custom text for that matter that suits your business need for that matter, or maybe custom entities, maybe for going for custom summaries for the database. So what happens is that these two broad categories is where you will have the or say pre-built capabilities, and the other is where you will have to custom train these models. You will have to custom train the models to suit your custom requirements for that database, and you should be able to say provision this on the cloud and work with it accordingly. So by default, without even choosing some custom features, a basic say language service can be created. All right, no doubt on that. That's very much possible. But you will also be able to say, without even selecting the customer features, you will be able to what extract these default features that are available in your Azure services for the matter be. So let's say I'll go with something that allows me to work with say a custom text classification. All right, I'm just giving you one particular scenario. You can create your resource. You can specify the resource group where you want to place, which will be that particular logical container that's going to contain your language service. Okay. The region where you want to provision it, you can give a name, say, a custom text. Okay. You can choose a pricing tier. All right. Uh, let's create, choose an existing storage account. All right. And let's click on this and hit review plus create. Okay, once it's been validated, let's click on create. Okay, let's wait for this to be deployed. Okay, so as I stated, when it comes to AI language services, there are two broad categories. One is the pre-configured category, and the other one is the learned feature. That is where you will have to train. You'll have to bring in your own data because your pre-configured categories uh, come with its own extensive training and the experience for that matter. So you can, of course, what say work with the learn features that are available and what perform CLU, maybe custom named entities, custom text classification, Q&A, and so on. So we will see these both all right in today's session with respect to custom text classification and question answering, how you can make use of the particular UI to work with it. But yes, let me quickly show you some of the pre-configured capabilities that are available in your Azure to work with it. Okay, meanwhile, this is getting provision. Let me go to uh, just so show you some language retrieval capabilities that is available. Language dot cognitive dot Azure dot com. So what Microsoft has made available is certain studios that are available. Okay, studios is where you will be able to experiment, you will be able to test, all right, your particular AI model. So for language, we have the language studio. You have, say, particularly when it comes to working with vision, maybe where you want to have integrate the visual capabilities with your AI systems, you can go for the Vision Studio that's available, and so on. So let me sign into this particular page. That will really, really help you to understand. Let me log in with my Azure account. Okay, meanwhile, this is done. That's great. Okay, so once you log into your language studio, all right, where you will be able to interact with your language models, pre-built language models, okay? You'll have to choose the default directory that is on the Azure subscription, MSDN platform subscription here. You can choose the language, you can choose the kind of, see from Language Studio, you can use cognitive services. That is your Azure AI multi-service account. You can use the language, you can use the translator service. Let's use the language service, all right? And you can choose. So in my subscription, I have two. As of now, I just created the custom text 900 service, right? I can also go for the language AI 900 service, which I had with for another session for that matter on the previous session. Let me go with the one and let me click on. You also have an option for creating a new resource from this particular studio. Let me click on done. See. So when you go to the settings here, all right, under the resources, all right, see, it shows you the list of resources that are available. Okay, so I'm going to be using this. All right. Uh, okay. I'm going to be using the customs resource for that matter being. All right. And let me go back here and let me show you what it all I can do here. So here, let me first of all focus on some of the basic capabilities that are available. Okay. For example, yeah. So you can use your language service when it comes to extracting sensitive entities, all right, within your particular given text. For example, let me show you some demonstrations here, all right, just for your fair understanding, guys. So here, NLP, see, one of the things that you must understand with NLP, natural language processing, especially in the context of language services, that always the start, all right, or the start, the initial feature that's going to be getting detected or that's going to be identified to apply certain AI logic will be that of detection of the language. All right. So your language model starts to apply certain attribute retrieval or maybe say feature retrieval as it detects the language. So it's very important that given a particular input text, okay, you specify, okay, you can specify the input text that you want to work with, and then that's going to be okay. So here in this portal, I am just in this particular studio. I'm choosing, or maybe I am selecting the particular language of the text for that matter being. All right. But definitely you can make an API call as you send input for that matter being. And the service is intelligent enough to what detect the language. So understand this detection of language is one of the primary tasks, the first task that gets executed to proceed further to with respect to AI logics in your language studio for that matter being all right for your language services. I'm sorry, I said studio. Yeah. Now let's see, I'm going to choose a particular, let's see, I am going to work with this particular email. All right. It's just a demo, guys. All right. So here I'm just showing you what at all pre-configured capabilities are available. So when you look at this email, all right, here you can see certain names here, name of a restaurant, certain anniversary dates, and so and so, address, all right, and so on. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to extract PII, all right. So here PII is going to be used, all right. The attribute retrieval is going to be extracting the entity, personal entities for that matter. Let me acknowledge this. And what is going to be happening here is this particular input data, all right, maybe consider this as an input that has been supplied from the application side. So this will be sent to the service which has been provisioned on the cloud. All right, which is a custom text 900 service, which we had provisioned here in this case. All right, so here the data will be sent, and this service consists of your AI model, the language model, which will analyze this particular data and identify what the PII in this case. Let me run this and let's see what it generates here. So when you look at this case, all right, here it identifies values like sir, madam, Matthew Gomez, spouse, Thursday of last week, neighbors, 1234, last Thursday, some number, and so on. So when you look at this case, all right, the underlying language model was intelligent enough to identify the entities, all right, and classify those entities interestingly, all right, based upon the PIF for that matter. So you will see that on the back end, all right, the language model that was being used was able to you very particularly classify the input, all right, that was supplied from the given text as it did analysis. It recognized the PII, all right, and put that into a classified category of maybe person, date, uh, maybe phone number, address, as such around there. And you can also see that, okay, if you are someone who is well versed with artificial intelligence or maybe say who have interacted with AI models, there is something called as confidence score. Okay. The reason being why confidence score in the sense that, see, the underlying language model, of course, identifies the correlations. And based on the correlations, it's trying to predict, all right, that the entity sir in the given input text belongs to a class of person type. That's what you're trying to say. So it's a prediction mean, all right? It's likelihood. It's there is a probability attached to it. And the confidence on the probable likelihood being true is 68 percentage, which is specified by the confidence score. The same applies for maybe the person type, all right? When you say madam, all right, and then the confidence attached to it is going to be what? on the prediction percentile is 62 percentage for the matter being. The same goes for maybe the Matthew Gomez, okay, spouse, and so on. So, and the predictions and the confidence score that you will be able to see. So, interestingly, you can use what the language service on this level. Maybe you want to extract key phrases from a given text. All right. Let's say I'm going to work with another input data, and in certain instances, say your business needs, all right, as per your business need, you want to understand what are the key talking points, all right. What are the key, like it needs to analyze the key talking points from the data, and definitely wants to say you want to retrieve them accordingly. In that case, you can use again the Azure AI language service, and you should be able to retrieve the information for that matter. So let's keep this input data and give it a try here. And let me show you just an overview, guys. Nothing much on this. You can see the key phrases. It says, okay, on this particular data, it is one, two, three, four. Bollywood Bollywood, say Los Angeles CA. So some of the key phrases that are identified: date, value, you see, employee, contour, student. Okay, the key phrases that it recognized in this case. And maybe I didn't say this, but look at this case here. This is what the API request has, or the response that was being captured accordingly. So understand that, all right, whenever you submitted run here from this portal, an API request was being sent to the service of the cloud, and you were able to what? Retrieve the outcome in that case. And the response is again an API response that was being generated. This again, you can configure it with respect to the schema of your applications and make it available. You can also go for maybe say finding linked entities. All right, say for example, let me work with another document here. All right, maybe if you can read this around, you have Los Angeles, you have Contoso Hotel, and so on. So let me try to run this and let's see what happens by see here. So with linked entities, you are identifying the definitely the entities, and you are attaching it to that of a particular Wikipedia article. You're going to be attaching it to that of a Wikipedia article. So you can say the benefit of this is, see, understand, AI is all about mimicking human capabilities, all right, human intelligence. So whenever I say about NLP, what's your brain wired to do, or say capable to understand is that, hey, this guy is speaking in the context of artificial intelligence. So whenever he speaks about NLP, that's definitely a part of artificial intelligence. So in the sense, in the context of what I was talking about, or maybe what you are aware of, you will try to derive what the conclusions, or maybe say analysis on that. In the same way, all right, you can, like for an AI model, you can use linked entities whenever you want to disambiguate some, say, conflict of entity recognition for that matter. And to do that, you can what link it to a particular Wikipedia article. And of course, that can give the contextual idea of what is being represented or what has been spoken about in a particular, say, a text document for that matter, for the linked entity. You can also go for extracting named entities. Okay, there are some broad categories of predefined entity categories that's available with Azure AI. So, for example, let's go with this particular medical report for a particular person by the name of Matthew Gomez for the age of 28, who suffered with a car accident. Let's try to run this. Look at this case. So what is being simplified when you look at all these cases, that Azure has already trained, all right, its model on large amount of data for that matter. And you can see that the broad categories, all right, onto which you were able to say put Azure was able to bifurcate that for that matter. So, for example, Matthew Gomez belonging to the person entity, all right, age belonging to the quantity, say entity for that matter. So these are broad classifications that do exist, different classes. Okay, we technically in machine learning we call it as classification. So you have classified your data belonging to that particular entity. So whenever you see a name of Matthew Gomez, your Azure AI language service is predicting that it belongs to what the person category for that matter. You can extract say custom. We'll work on this later, okay, for custom part. But definitely, you should be able to. You can again summarize your text, okay. You can perform translations also. All right, for a particular document, you can perform translations too. Yeah, summaries, classify. Yeah, you can also classify your text whenever you want to detect language, all right? You want to extract the sentiments, all right? Say, for example, there is a service review that I have here, okay? See here, good, long, um, great vibes, um, to keep you entertained. Food is good enough, all right? Let's try to run this. See, so the overall document is 91 percentage positive, all right? So, uh, say in the sense that the confidence score always varies in the range of 0 to 100. Higher the value, higher the confidence it is. So when it comes to sentiment analysis, higher the confidence, all right, towards the positive scale it is. So anything above 50 is again traversing towards what the positivity scale for that matter be. All right. And maybe there are some attributes that would have weighted for neutrality and something for negative for that matter. So the overall, all right, the keywords that were being found here, all right, were responsible for predicting that the given service is positive or not. And individually, you can check what was the contribution of an individual sentence, and this was together, right, aggregated, or maybe say that was been analyzed to give the overall sentiment of the particular document in that case. So you will see that in NLP, if you remember, do not forget the concept of tokenization. Each phrases, each words were taken into consideration, and that were assigned with tokens. So here, if you see good, maybe say weird, or maybe say something positive being mentioned in terms of sentiment analysis, it will attribute towards the scale of being, say, positively uh, opinionated, or maybe say the sentiment being positive for that matter. You can also say go for detection of languages. Yes, I did mention this. So you can see that your AI language, all right, service is very much capable, all right, with respect to what the pre-configured capabilities for that matter. Again, just gave you an overview of what it all attribute or the retrieval is possible in the context of artificial intelligence with respect to Azure AI language. So here you need not have to be bothered about what the particularly say the context, or maybe say training your models for that matter. Azure has already done that. It has a large data set that's available, which you can definitely make an API call upon and generate responses. So again, the limitations would be in number of the extent to which the number of classes it has been trained upon, or maybe the categories to which it can belong up to. But yes, you should be able to do that with your Azure AI language services. Now you have the speech service, which I will discuss in a while for that matter. All right, when we talk about speech-enabled applications, we're not discussing translator service, even though you would have seen translation capability that's available. See, whenever it comes to text translation, you can use word translator service for that matter. Maybe you want to translate documents. Maybe if you want to bring in custom terminology, say custom phrases that are going to be used as such. In that case, you can go for translator service. A speech service, it's an individual standalone extensive service that allows you to work with speech-based inputs, generating speech-based output, translation, speaker identification, language identification, and so on, so for the matter. Okay, so Azure AI Language Service, we just spoke about this, right? Uh, yeah. Now there's another one more capability that is available. Many a times you want to integrate, say, artificial intelligence, all right, in terms of creating applications that are capable enough for engaging into conversations. And definitely, right, bots are something that can really be considered on those levels. Bots, or maybe applications that implement conversational style of interaction, which are called as the AI bots or the AI agents. See, when it comes to a bot, right, in the context of any AI tool that we talk about, it's all about mimicking human intelligence. So what happens with a bot is your bot is that which will capable of engaging into dialogue exchanges for that matter. So where you can create an interface, all right, where a model can be trained, all right. It's not static, it's dynamic. So depending upon how a user interacts, the bot should be able to return back with responses for that matter. So on the bot interface, there is it's again you Azure makes it available with very easy intuitive UI that it has to offer with its bot services. But yes, you will be able to also maybe say extend its capabilities with pro developer capabilities if you are aware of maybe as a developer to train your bots to be more advanced and more complex as a matter of fact. Okay. And since we talk about AI and all, uh, of course, inclusivity is one of the core attributes of the features that needs to be addressed. So with conversational AI and bots, okay, you will see that, all right. You will see that it's very important that it tries to include different capabilities, different UI features, so that ensuring that it really benefits everyone. So somebody with a visual impairment, somebody with that of particularly say who wants to understand, maybe making it more UI interactive. All of this is going to be possible. And very interestingly, as with what I discussed with your AI language service, all right, your conversational bots or your AI agents that what bots are, you will see them implementing what very particularly uh, a dialogue or the contextual exchange for that matter being. And that's how we humans also do, right? You understand in the context of the conversation that what I'm trying to convey about. So your bots will be trained on those levels. It will be trained in terms of working with different phrases, different terms, maybe what actions to be ensured. And you need to carefully construct, logically construct the interaction that should take place with respect to that of an AI bot for that matter. And very interestingly, all right, your bots, again, depending upon the kind of business logic that you want to look into, you can, of course, configure or maybe say curate a multi-turn conversation for that matter being. And then you will also be able to what say assign or maybe say configure it across different channels. Channels are those particular portals where you want to have interaction with your AI bots. So maybe your audience is more available on the Teams channel. Maybe your audience is more available on some other web pages for the matter being. So you will ensure that your bot is being published to that specific channel so that you should be able to interact with the bot for that matter being. Now, to do this, all right, to help you on this, Azure offers you with very particularly an interesting service that is the Azure bot service. Let's see. Let me see. You have bot services, Azure bot services for that matter. So you can definitely what create a bot, all right, and then definitely you can make use on the basis of the kind of services that you want to use in. All right, you can make use of these services to build what applications for that matter. Now, to do this, okay, you can use the service, the Azure Bot Service. You can use the bot framework SDK that is available, all right, where you can handle your bot activities. If you want to extend the capabilities of your bot applications, all right, you can also make use of the bot framework SDK, depending upon the programming SDK that you choose to work with, whether it is Node.js, whether it is C Sharp, maybe Python, Java, and so on. So that allows you to interact with the bot applications that has been provisioned on the cloud. As a matter of fact, this is much possible in the context of Azure bot services for that matter. So again, you would have heard of your earlier we used to call it as power virtual agents. Now we call it as co-pilots. Again, that's a very good example of what bots that can be created for that matter. Okay, but again, co-pilots are more confined towards what very specifically in the level of your N365 and so on. So again, you can extend it with respect to plugins and all, no doubt on that. But yes, bot can be more advanced and say it can be more complex in terms of the responses more for your customer say facing scenarios applications. It can be recommended that you go with a bot service for that data being. All right, you can again merge them both, maybe bring in the capabilities that are available. You can integrate the capabilities of language understanding that we talked about, the language services, and definitely you will be able to handle the request in a dynamic manner for that database. Now, there's another interesting application that we need to talk about here, all right, today, and that is going to be a question answering solution, a question answering solution for that matter. So, question answering solution. See, when I say about question answering solution, say this is going to be the one of the most say common conversational scenarios that can be considered, where you might want to consider providing support to your customers, all right, on the business side through a knowledge base of frequently asked questions. Okay, so what organizations might do in most of the scenarios is that, say, they might provide with an FAQ document, maybe with certain web pages, all right. And this can be very, very beneficial in the context of going with, say, a small set of, or say, documents or the question answer pairs that you're working with. But think about a scenario, maybe you have a very large document, all right. You need to scale accordingly, and it can be really be tough, difficult for that matter. And searching out for the right answers from the entire pool of question answer pairs, all right, from the entire pool definitely can be time consuming. And that's where Azure AI language introduces. Azure AI language includes a very interesting capability, which is called as the Q&A or the question answering capability for that matter, where you will create a knowledge base, all right, of questions and answers so that these question answer pairs can be queried, all right, using natural language inputs, all right. And you can use this as a particular resource that maybe a particular bot, all right, can use to look up for your answers to the questions in the uh, uh, questions submitted by the users, all right, for that matter. So that's pretty much possible. So you might think, hey, what is the AI in this? All right. What is the AI in this? It's just question answer pairs, right? You just need to ask questions. So I did mention a word that you can use natural language input. All right. So whatever the questions that you are having here in the knowledge base are definitely not, say, from a user's perspective, it wouldn't be different. It would be entirely different. So what happens on the back end is that your Q&A, which is a part of your Azure AI language service, will apply AI in terms of understanding what is the intent behind your question. That's called intent recognition grammar. So it deploys something called as natural language understanding. It deploys something called as the natural language understanding for that matter. And then, of course, I completely agree that the answer will be static, but yes, it will be based upon that understanding of the input that has been supplied upon. And you can publish this Q&A to a REST endpoint, all right, where your applications can consume. And then maybe you can use what programming SDKs to make it available for that matter. Okay, that's pretty much possible. Now, whenever you want to create, I'll show you those in the demonstration. Just allow me some minutes. Um, to work with a Q&A solution, the soul of a Q&A solution is nothing but its knowledge base. A knowledge base that comes with pre-populated question answer pairs. No, it's not the users are not aware of what the questions are, but yeah, user expects maybe some kind of an answers, right? But here the knowledge base comes with pre-populated question answer pair, where the model will correlate the question answers, intent recognition, and based upon that, it will predict responses on those levels. So again, you can use what your language studio portal, all right, via which you will be able to create a question answering solution. And you can bring in, now you need to populate it with data, right? You need to bring in the data, which can be from an FAQ document. You can bring in your documents accordingly. You can use for chit chat pairs, and you can create a knowledge base on those levels for that matter. Now, let me very quickly show you this part and make you understand what I'm trying to talk about. Just let me take you to my portal. Okay, let's say I'm in my language studio. All right. So in my language studio, I have the section which says understand question and conversational language. So this is where I can make use of, all right, the language service to create question answering solutions for it. Let's click on this. All right. Let's try to create a new project here. Now, this is another interesting service that comes into role play, all right, here within your question answering solutions, which is called as Azure Search. Okay. Now, again, not a part of this particular session, but let make you understand that your Azure Search is that service which is available on the cloud, Azure cloud, that allows you to build knowledge mining solutions. Knowledge mining solutions. So, knowledge mining solutions is that way of particularly say um, indexing, all right, indexing uh, different variety of data sources by making use of artificial intelligence. Okay, so if you have some data in a particular document in a particular blob store, your AI search will connect to the blob store, maybe run through the entire document. It will apply artificial intelligence and extract insights, maybe identifying images, maybe the entities, and so on. So this is where it becomes again more intelligent. So as I stated, it's not a very basic what a pre-populated question answer pair. Rather, it again uses artificial intelligence to really work upon. Let's connect to Azure Search. Okay, let's wait for this to be connected. So you had AI language, all right. You also have AI search also coming into role play. Okay, perfect. Let's create a project. All right. The UI is very simplistic, guys. All right, you create, you train your models as such around there. Let me choose. All right. So it's very important that, okay, you can, if you want to use a specific language, you can do that. Okay. And maybe say you make it available as we provision it here. Let me say I want to use it. All right. For the language, for all the projects created under this particular resource. Let's click on next. Let's click on creating a project here. Uh, you can give a description label. Let's click on next. Okay, let me create a project. Perfect. Now, what did I say? All right, your Q&A makes use of Azure AI Search. Now, what is going to happen is that, okay, contextually, your language service, which hosts this particular language model, all right, will use AI search to find out, index the data that is available, the Q&A data that is available in your knowledge bases for that matter. So what's a knowledge base? Your knowledge base is that it will consist of what Q&A, so your Q&A pairs for that matter. So it's very important that you will have to make the data available because it's a custom solution that you're building in, right? You need to bring in with your own data to work with it accordingly. So you will add data. All right. Now this data can be from a URL. All right. You can specify the URL that you want to work with, or maybe you can upload a particular file, or maybe a chit chat, say conversation for that matter. So when I say I want to work with a URL, all right, I can add a particular URL, and what does it say? You can add up to 10 URLs at a time. All right. So let's say let me give it a name for that matter, FAQ URL, and let me use a document link that is available, which is from the Microsoft side. Okay, I'm going to use this particular link. Maybe I can just open this and show you here. See, this is the link that I'm going to be using. Some of the questions that are available. Maybe you can try this out if you have the permissions. Maybe see Azure accounts. Let's use this. And do you want to classify the data? Okay, as auto detect or maybe unstructured, you can do that. But let's click on add. Perfect. Okay, it's still getting added. Let's wait. Okay. You can also, if needed, you can add a chit chat. Okay. So you can select what the personality of a chit chat. So if you're someone who has interacted with a Copilot and all, and maybe if you are someone who closely observe the way your GenAI solutions generate responses, one of the things definitely where we as trainers to convey to our participants or maybe the end users is that you can assign persona to your particular, say, your application that you're going to be working for that matter. All right. So you can use that and you can assign that maybe you want to have it which is more professional, maybe something. So it adds more what a kind of a dialogue friendliness that you're going to bring in. So in this case, as we bring in chit chat capabilities, pre-built chit chat that are available, so what happens is that there are some scenarios, right? Maybe you want to, maybe it's not always same very question and answer kind of a interaction taking place. Maybe you can say an hi and you want to respond it in a very friendly manner. For an hello, you want to respond. Okay. So you can bring in that pre-built capabilities that are available. So let's say I go with something which is more friendly. All right. And you can just add this chit chat. So this is already available. Okay. Your Azure makes it available in this case. Okay, that's been done. Perfect. Now let's do one thing. Okay, what has been done in this case is that your knowledge base, all right, is being populated with your question answer pairs, which is from the FAQ page for that matter. All right, with a set of what conversational chit chat question answer pairs. Now you can definitely what extend the knowledge base. If needed, you want to add maybe say additional question answer pairs, you can definitely do that. So let's do one thing. All right. Let me click on the edit knowledge base. I'll show you from here. All right. And you see, this will give you, right? You will see a bunch of what question answer pairs that has been loaded. It consists of 153 question answer pairs. All right. So let's say, for example, you see there is a section which says, will you slush, will do, can you sing me a song? I'm a fan. Are you dumb? Like say this is pre-built, okay, just to demonstrate this. Okay. So this is the chit chat that we had integrated, the friendly one. And then there is this standardized FAQ from the Microsoft side that has been loaded here in this case. All right. Now in this particular knowledge base, all right, if needed, you can add a question. Okay, where you can specify the source. All right. And you can ask what the question is. All right. And you can generate the answers. So let's say, for example, in the source, I say that my docs.microsoft.com en-us learn support FAQ. All right. My question is, maybe you can ask a question and let's create a new question answer pair. I say, what are Microsoft certifications? All right. And I given an answer. Okay. Microsoft soft credentials enable you, I'm sorry, to validate and prove your skills with Microsoft technologies. This is the answer. Just to show in case that if you want to add certain responses. Okay, let's see. Let me add done. Skip this. Okay, so you have what are Microsoft certifications? All right, credentials enable you to validate and prove your skills with Microsoft technologies. If you want. Now, what you can also do is see, it's very important that maybe a same question, okay, can be asked in a different way. All right. So that's where you might have to consider about having something, say you it's AI, right? So you need to you're training right now an underlying model to maybe say to respond to the questions being asked. So the more you equip it, better it adapts in terms of generating the responses. So Mr. A can ask something in a different way, and say Miss B can come and ask in another way for that matter B. So you'll have to accommodate that. Okay, so let's do one thing. I can ask an alternate question. All right, because uh, what maybe it's possible, right? In a different way, the same question with the same sense can be asked. So let's say instead of what are Microsoft certifications, someone can ask like how can I demonstrate, okay, my Microsoft technology skills. Let's hit enter. Okay, that's very much possible. And in certain cases, see, like if you want, you can add more alternate questions if you think that really aligns to the intent of what is the motto behind a question. But yes, you can add what very particularly say add follow-up prompts. Okay. So it will make more sense whenever you want to ask, enable the user to follow up upon maybe engaging into a multi-10 conversations for that matter. And you will be able to what iteratively refine the questions to get the answers that they are needed for that matter. So what you can do is, okay, you can again insert a follow-up prompt here. You can add follow-up prompts. Okay, and let's say the text displayed in the prompt to the user, I can say that learn more about, okay, credentials. Okay. And then what I can do is I can definitely what link an existing pair. All right, link it to an existing pair. Or what I can also do is that I can create a link to new pair also. Okay, so maybe let me click on this and I can see that this might look very much similar to that of a bot, all right, but here it's more standardized, ensuring that your business answers are generated in a standardized manner. So you can see that you can, let's see, you can learn more about the credentials on the, let's see, following site. Okay, perfect. All right. And now what I will do is I'll also enable this checkbox just to show that, ensuring that the answer is only okay uh, being returned in the context of a follow-up question from the original certification question, the particular certification question for that. So let's add this prompt here. Okay, having done this, see how simplified it is, right? So from a business perspective, you always want to have what standardized responses that needed. Okay. Now once you're done, there's something else also that can be done here is that to go with synonyms. So it's the same way, maybe you say you're equipping your application to handle say scenarios or maybe say questions from different rounds for the matter. So if you want to add maybe certain terms and terminologies that can be seen, say stated in a different levels, you can definitely do that also. Okay, you can create a synonym group too. Okay, that's very much possible. Then let's do one thing. Once this has been done, all right. Again, having done this, let's do one thing. You or in this particular portal or maybe the language studio, you have an options for particularly training and testing the knowledge base. So let's hit save here. And let me, once this is saved, perfect. Yes, it's been saved. Let's try to test this. All right. Maybe see your FAQ documents didn't have anything that was more friendly in conversation. So that's what we had it integrated with your chat. Okay, the chit chat that was being integrated. So let's say, okay, uh, I say hello. See, it says you hi. Okay, let me inspect this. Look at this case. All right, hi. It says confidence is one. That means 100% each. Okay, 3.5 doesn't mean 350. It means 35%. So what can be the probable answer? So this is what, so one with the utmost confidence was being predicted. So when it's response by high, it is predicting the answer. Okay, that's something that I wanted to let you know. And then let's see, let me ask a question here. Mm, let's see, what is Microsoft? uh, okay, see, so it gives you an answer. You get an appropriate response. All right. Let's try to inspect this and see the answer that we had 70 percentage of confidence code attached to it. What could have been the next one that it could have in case if you would have chose? That would be this particular answer. Okay. Uh, maybe say instead of this, let's say, uh, let's say, see, it gives you back a response. If you want, let's try to uh, say ask this particular question that we just recently inserted. Tell me about Microsoft credentials. See, it gives you, all right, a response, all right, as a generate what for the answer that has been created. Okay, Microsoft credentials enable you to validate and prove your skills with Microsoft technologies. Here, this where is this that um here, this one. You see, that's been added. So what has happened here is that in a very simplified manner, this particular UI, you were able to particularly what train a particular model to generate static responses, standardized responses, answers the questions making use of NLP. Once it's been done, definitely what you can do is you can deploy this particular knowledge base. Understand that? Deploy the knowledge base. Okay. So let's say let me close this. You have an option for deploying the knowledge base. And what you can definitely do is you want to click on deploy. Okay. And once you have deployed, you can choose how do you want to make it available. Now, even this particular service, all right, will provide you with certain suggestions, which we call it as active learning. All right, for any AI model, it needs improvisation over a period of time. And you want to possibly consider integrating changes on those levels. So let's try to deploy this. It will take some time, definitely. All right. Once it's been done, once it's been deployed, you can get the prediction URL, your client applications done. See. Um, yeah, just to demonstrate this, okay? Let's say so you could have used C sharp or maybe Python as such around the Node.js also. It will take some time, definitely. Yeah. And then, of course, what your applications can make use of what the API calls, or maybe say you want to integrate that as a part of another software application. You should be able to do that from your Azure standpoint. Okay, it will take some time, but yes. So what did we learn here is that we understood how we can use the capabilities of the Q&A solutions, all right, in terms of generating standardized responses. Again, if you're a developer, you want to extend its capabilities with other programming SDKs, definitely you should be able to do that. Okay. Okay. All right, everyone, let's take a quick 5 minutes break. I know that's the span of attention. Let's do one thing. We'll be back after 5 minutes and I will start on the remaining topics after the break.
Thank you so much, Gino. Hello, everyone. I am Sagnik, Product Marketing Manager for Microsoft here at Netcom Learning. And I'd like to borrow a few minutes before we part for break to go over the badge redemption process. So, we'd like to thank everyone for taking out the time and joining us for today's session on Azure AI on this masterclass on Azure AI, build NLP solutions with Azure AI solutions. So on this page, that link to which will be shared on your GoToWebinar chat window. you can access this page, and I'd request everyone to follow along with me. It's going to take barely 1 or 2 minutes for us to complete the process, and then we'll be breaking up for the break session. So on this page, you'd see this section, unlock your exclusive Netcom Learning Advantage, start your Microsoft Applied Skills training journey for free. Here, you'd be seeing two benefits you are getting out of this process. First of all, you'd get free access to the Microsoft official courseware on AI 3003, building NLP processing solutions with Azure AI services. And you'd also be unlocking your digital achievement trophies and badges from Microsoft to celebrate your learning accomplishments. Now, the process to redeem this achievement is very simple. You just need to follow 3 simple steps, as you can see on my screen. Now, if you already have a Microsoft Learn account and you're already signed into it, then it's going to be super fast for you. In case you don't have a Microsoft Learn account, but you do have a Microsoft account, maybe your personal Outlook or Hotmail account or your professional Outlook or Hotmail account, you can create your Microsoft Learn uh, credential using that same login IDs, right? So all you need to do is just click on the Get Started button over here, and you would be redirected to Microsoft Learn website in a new tab. Now, once you're there, it is going to ask you to sign in if you're not already signed in to Microsoft Learn. If you have an account with Microsoft, please use those credentials to continue the sign-in process. In case you don't have a Microsoft account, you can also create one using the option that is highlighted here in the visuals over here on the right-hand side, just below the sign-in prompt for with your email, phone, or Skype. There is a prompt, no account, create one. So you just need to click on the create one link. Then it's going to take you another 1 or 2 minutes to quickly set up your Microsoft account. And once you are done with that, you'd be straight away going to step number 2. Now, once in step number 2, and this is also the direct step that if anyone is already signed in, you're going to be seeing this prompt on your screen asking you to redeem your code. Now, please note, a code will be automatically pre-populated in this field. You don't need to type in anything. You just need to click on the redeem button that is highlighted in red over here. Once you click on redeem, it's going to take a couple of seconds, process the code, and then you're going to see a prompt over here which says we have successfully added your achievements to your profile. All you need to do is then navigate to your trainings tab, identify the courseware, which is the titled with AI 3003 build an NLP processing solution. And once you click on that, you'd be getting access to all the related modules on the same. Also be proud of your achievements and celebrate it by sharing your digital trophies on your LinkedIn profiles. And don't forget to tag Netcom Learning and Microsoft on your posts for maximum visibility and reach. So that's the basic step that we need to follow. It's a 3-step process. I highly encourage everyone to complete this before heading into the break. And with that, I'll be breaking off for the break session, and Gino will be continuing shortly.
Sure, we are now going to take a 5-minute break, but before we do that, we are going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Hope all of you are here. And let's continue back to the content to focus upon as a part of this masterclass. Let's take this further ahead. Quickly come to this another service that we ought to be discussing, which is the speech service. All right, a speech service that we need to discuss about. So still we are in NLP. All right, and I told you your natural language processing always takes into account working with text-based documents as well as that of working with speech-based inputs also. Now, when it comes to working with speech, you have a very interesting exclusive service, a standalone service, which can be considered, which is the speech service for that matter. Now, again, all these are all are pre-built services. Am I right? So that's where maybe you want to particularly work with respect to that of a speech-enabled applications where you accept the speech input, where you can make an API call and generate, recognize the speech input for that matter. Okay, speech recognition is very much possible. Speech to text API coming into role play. You have speech synthesis too. Has speech synthesis too. In your speech synthesis is where you have the text which can be synthesized, all right? You generate a speech-based output for that matter. Then you have speech translation API, where you can translate it from one particular, say, language, all right, to another language. All right, so you do not confuse about the translator service. The translator service is used for text-based inputs. Since we are talking about speech-based inputs that needs to be converted to another language, you can use the translation API. Whenever you want to recognize a particular user, you can do that. And also like how we were able to use the intent recognition capability with text-based inputs. You can also use what the speech service to work with your particular say intent recognition in your speech-based inputs for that matter. Let me show you from that of uh, okay, just a second. Yeah. So you can tell for the previous scenario, you can definitely test the bot, all right, in the web chat, and maybe if needed, you can configure it to a particular channel. If needed, you can configure it to specific channels, like see, these can be your probable channels where you want to make it available. That's pretty much possible. Let me show you from the speech service, all right. Let me try to log into my VM and just showcase this part. So here in our case, like for the previous context of your Q&A, you can call like you have created Azure bot, all right. You can use direct line, maybe web chat, maybe say depending upon where you want to make it available. So there are some responsible AI considerations that you must take into account when it comes to working with say AI bots. Is that again the it should be inclusive, all right. Should be transparent, and then, of course, the success of a bot also is always based upon how particularly you will be able to ensure that you make it available on the right channel. Okay, because if you have a maybe a best bot that has been configured, and if you don't make it available on the right channel where probable users are not available, then really that can lead to deterioration of service for the matter. In the sense that that won't make any sense. So you will have to ensure that you identify the right channel and make it available on those levels. Let me see the VM is built or not. Okay. Let's see. Perfect. All right. So let me try to log into this particular VM. And just a second. Yeah. Let me see if I have a speech service. Yeah. Mm, okay, let's create a speech service. Okay, let me choose the region. Let me say, uh, let's choose the pricing tier. All right, and let's try to configure it. This can also be a part of your Azure multi-service account too, guys. All right, it may not have to be the standalone service. You can also go for what a multi-service account for that matter. While this is getting provision, let me go to my say the portal, which is speech dot cognitive. Mm, uh, Speech studio. Yeah, sign in from here. Perfect. All right. So I have logged into my speech service with respect to my um, Microsoft certificate, your Azure account for that matter. Let me configure this to my right service. All right. Yep, I have it here. I can use this as my resource. Now look at what at all capabilities are available in this case. All right. So on a basic level, all right, your speech service is that you can consider to working with real-time speech to text, which what we call it as transcription. Let me show you from here. Let me try speaking something here and let's see whether the transcript is generated or not. Okay, so let me click on this and let me allow this. Okay. So here is a very quick demonstration of how particularly you can use the speech service. All right, and then of course the particular generate the particular transcript. Okay, it says an error. Let me try to use another resource instead of right. Just a second. All right, unable to contact server. Let's try to switch this up here. All right, let's very quickly check the working of this interesting service, that is the speech service, which is capable enough to generate transcripted text for the real-time speech input, all right, supplied to this particular speech studio as we demonstrate this particular capability. You see, almost it's perfect, all right, because again, you can see that, all right, let's very quickly you can see that the service was capable of what generating the transcripted text in this case with respect to the speech-based input. So this capability of speech service is called a speech recognition, where you can provide what a particularly a speech-based input and definitely what generate a transcript for that matter. All right. Maybe if you want to view the JSON structure for that, definitely it's very much possible. Now, you can also use the speech service whenever you want to work with, say, a batches of speech to text is what you want to look into. Maybe you want to work with speech translation. Okay. Now, please do not confuse. I'm not talking about the translator service. I'm talking about the speech service which offers you with translation capabilities. You will use translator service only to work with text-based inputs. So let's try this out, and let me say I can choose a particular language, all right, and from there I can convert that into another target language. So it's one-to-one taking place, all right. There is one-to-one translation is what it is possible. Okay, if you want to speak out your translation, you can do that also. Let me try to reshare that and then show you in a while, but let me just try to work with English, all right, and try to demonstrate that in, I'm not sure, in French. Okay, um let's give it a try, and let's see whether the text, okay, generated is in French or not. Here we go to quickly test the capability of the speech service that can definitely transcribe a given spoken input. But here we try out how the given speech input can be translated to a target language of our choice. Here in this case, from that of English to that of the target language being French. You'll have to excuse me. I'm not someone who's well versed with French, but yes, maybe if you can validate it accordingly, I'm pretty much sure you should be able to. This should be the right answer, as it generates what the French based transcripted text for that matter be. Let me do one thing here. Uh, just a second. Let's say. Um, Let me generate the voice. All right. Let me rerun this. Mm, Let me include sound and try resharing. Yep. Now, what I've done is that I wanted to demonstrate the synthesis capability also. Okay. So what has happened here in this case is, you saw that I was able to particularly uh, generate, okay, a speech-based, transcripted text in a specific language. My target language was French. Now, what I did is that I also want to speak out my translation. Okay, I enabled it. And then what I did is I gave the voice name as Dennis FR French Dennis Neural. All right. And what I want to do is right now I want to speak out this particular the translated text for the matter. Now, what speech service does is that provides you with speech recognition where you create speech to text, and you can also go for speech synthesis where a given text can be synthesized to produce a speech-based output. Okay, and again, what happens in all these contexts is that on the back end there is machine learning models that are available. You can see there are Azure makes it available with a bunch of services. Okay, sorry, bunch of speech-based say tones or right voices that are available, where again neural network is taken into consideration, and you can specify the tone, maybe the voice, maybe of a male, maybe of a female, and then of course generate output on those levels. Let's try to speak this off and see whether the voice, or how does the Dennis voice sound in French, for that matter. Here we go to, just a second.
C'est parti. Pour tester rapidement la capacité du service vocal qui peut certainement transcrire une entrée vocale donnée. Mais ici, nous essayons comment l'entrée vocale donnée peut être traduite dans une langue cible de notre choix, ici, dans ce cas, de celle de l'anglais à celle de la langue cible étant le français.
You see that? I believe you heard that. Okay. And you see, like it has spoken out, it has generated the synthesized speech output. So it's one-to-one always, guys. All right. So you might have a question here, why weren't we able to go for speech to speech conversion directly? And the reason for that is, the service always creates a transcript, the NLP coming into role play, and given the transcript, the recognition taking place, you will be able to generate what the speech output that has been recognized accordingly. You can use the same speech service, all right. Say, for example, you want to create custom voices. Maybe you want to interact with, say, different voices that are available. All right. You see here, there are a bunch of voices that are available. Again, guys, this is just to let you know that Azure takes into account to provide you with what a bunch of capabilities. All right. So from your call center perspective, say maybe you want to have naturally sounding voices, maybe the tone, maybe the kind of nuances that you want to bring into certain voices can be configured with speech services for that matter. It's a very interesting service. Okay, again, you have a support for 91 languages. You can set the speaking style also, guys. Okay, that's very interesting. You can also go for, say, the speaking style also that can be considered in this case. All right, you can also go for, say, custom voices. All right, where you can create your own audio recordings and then of course, to generate that kind of an voices for that matter. So in all its context, you can use what speech-based services or the speech services in your Azure to work with it accordingly. Now, you also have, as a part of NLP, all right, you have custom text classification. Okay, see, any of the cases that we talk about, okay, there are some pre-built capabilities, there are some custom abilities that are available. So with custom text classification, all right, it's again a part of your NLP where you would have done key phrase detection, identification, text summaries, sentiment analysis. So in your language service, there's another one more custom feature that is available, which is called as the custom text classification, which is as similar to, say, how we created a custom solution for Q&A solution for that matter. So we will use Azure AI language service, and we will use the particular language model within the language studio, and then we will use it in terms of make use of AI to detect the patterns, and then of course can be taken into consideration for your real world application scenarios. So it's very important whenever you're working with a custom, it's a custom solution, right? So you'll have to bring in your own data. You'll have to assign labels, custom labels to the documents. So we'll make it available in your Azure. And then what we will do is we will define the labels. All right. Then we will label the documents. We will train the model. And then based upon that, we should be able to test or maybe say generate outcomes on those levels. Let me show you custom text classification is what we are working upon. So let's say, let me take you back to my portal. Just a second. Language portal. Okay. Let me take. Yeah, let's come here and let's create custom text classification. Okay, let's create a project. Uh, Now, so whenever we start creating a custom text classification project or maybe a particular application, you can specify what type of a project you want to work with. It can be a single label one. It can be a multi-label classification. So single label is where, for example, you want to say a label as particularly as that maybe a particular document can have a single label. Maybe you want to put that as a label of a document belonging the text very specifically to that of maybe say sports, okay, or maybe say particularly that of say medicine or maybe say pharmaceutical. I'm just giving you some scenarios. You can do that, but it's also possible that your file can have multiple labels also. All right, multiple classes that you want to create. So in machine learning, we call this as classification scenario. You can go for binary, you can go for multi-class, so you can choose that. So in our case, since we are working with, we'll work with a single label classification as of now. I'll choose this. I'll hit next. You can specify the name. Let's see, custom class text. Okay, just a second. And then, of course, you can specify what is the primary language. If you remember, we are talking about AI language. So we will have to say it always starts with language detection. So let me choose English US. All right. And do you want to enable multilingual data set? All right. No, I will leave it. I don't want to have that. Let's click on next. Now, it's very important that as you're going to be working, training this model on a specific document, set of documents, all right, you'll have to make the data available. All right. So the data should be there in the Azure container. All right, the data store, blob store. All right. So we'll go with uh let's see, do I have one? Um, let's see whether we will have. Okay, let me choose my blob store. And then do I need to label my documents as a part of this project? All right. Uh, Let me select this. All right. And let's create the project. Okay. Now let's try to bring in the data. All right. Now it's my own task that I work with the data, and I will use that in terms of what work, maybe customizing my application to label the text for the matter. Okay. So you have the data labeling option that is available. All right. So what we can do is here in the activity pane, all right, you can add your labels. All right. And then definitely train your models for that matter. So, okay. Now let's try to do one thing. Uh, just a second. No documents are available. Mm, Let me add data. Okay, let me try uploading data here. Okay, let's see. Uh, Let me upload my files. Let's see. I have some articles. All right, let's upload this here. Perfect. Done. Okay, now let's try to refresh here. Let's see the data gets available here or not, because we need them to be labeled for the custom scenario. So understand that it's all about putting your machines to learn, your systems to learn. All right. Yeah, it's been loaded. Perfect. So once the data has been made available, I have a bunch of articles in the .txt files. There are one all the way to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. Okay, perfect. Now let's try to add certain classes. So what is my scenario? I want to create custom text classification. So I need to add what those classes can be. I say that I can have my document can belong to a class of classifieds. All right. My document can also belong to that of, say, the article can be of the sports category. I'm just categorizing it, okay? I'm training it. This is very important. So it's a custom model that I'm building with my own data. I can see that it can also consist of the article can be news. Uh, the article can also belong to the category of entertainment. Okay, all right. Um, Let me enter, enter, yeah. Okay, so what did I do? I have four classes, which I believe my articles can fall into. Okay, and I have created four classes like classified, sports, news, and entity. Okay, let's proceed further and try to have a look onto this. Let's say, let me work with the first document. Let me open this up. You see, the first document, how the footballers completed one of the worst collapses in June 4, in just 4 minutes, I'm sorry. And you can see, yes, this is the article. So when you look at this, it's more about what championship game, football, and so on. So why don't we put that into a category of what are sports? All right. So what I need to do is, okay, I'm going to be using this and then I will assign it to that of the sports category. There. And let's see this one. Bad news for allergy sufferers. Pollen coats are on the rise. Itchy eyes, congestion, sneezing, and so on. So this is more of a news. So let's classify this as the news category. See, whenever the label is been assigned. So this is trying to correlate your data with the label that you have made available. Similarly, you can go for the 11th article, which is nothing but Caleb recovering from car accident, summer season 2, so and so to be continued. So this is more of an entertainment news. Okay, you have labeled it. You have the next data, which is US economy shrank by 1.7. So let's categorize that as news. Article number 13. Okay, Ivano defeats team to reach BMW Open quarterfinals. So let's put that in the sports category. Let's click on article number 2, which is New York baseballers. Let's put that as sports. Similarly, for article number 3, glass L-shaped desk. So that's more of a classified. Article number 4, which is large dog kennel. So let's put that as classifieds. Your article number 5, Graham Barnes graces the cover of the best Barnes. Obviously, the new album is titled. Okay, so let's put that as entertainment. Similarly, for article number 6, reality TV makes us cringe on other faces, and so and so. So let's put that as entertainment. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, article number 7, reality TV, severe drought likely in California. So that's a news, right? So let's put that as news. Similarly, for article number 8, wind, fuel, wildfires, and so and so. Let's put that as news. And for article number 9, let's put this as entertainment. Okay, that's it. Yeah, now this is ready for training. So let's do one thing. Let's try to save these labels. Just a second. Okay, it's been saved. Yep, we can save this. And now we will have to train our. Okay, so what we will do is we can go to training jobs. We will start training our job. Now, see, your training, it's where you have provided the training data set. And now what you're trying to say is that how do you want to train the model? Okay, so it's very important that you need to give a name for your job. All right. Classify uh, classified text. All right. Okay. And you give a name. Now, how do you want to handle it? There are two ways of working with it. Okay. One is that you can go for automatic split. All right. Or maybe you can also go for what? A manual split. Again, it's a part of machine learning task, but yes, you can do that. So when you go for an automatic split, what will happen is that given the sample data that I've used in terms of labeling the documents and training the model, the 80% maybe see I had 10 documents if I'm not mistaken, right? So out of those 10 documents, let me quickly check this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. Out of the 10 documents, all right, 80%, that is 8 documents would be used for training the model and 2 will be used for testing it. Let's quickly reconfigure this. Let's say demo class text. Yep. So training is where the model, the underlying language model will identify for what particularly say correlations on the labels that you have assigned and that of the data. And it will try to correlate. Like this is how we also do, right? When you look at a document, you will say that, okay, it's news. So your brain is wired on that level. So that if I bring something out of context from that which you don't have the experience upon, based upon what you have learned in the past, you will try to say that, hey, this is looks like more of a entertainment news, maybe of a sports news and so on. So let's train this. And of course, this gets started. Okay. So let's wait for this and it will take some time, but yes, let's wait for that. So once you have evaluated it, you will be able to review the model. You will be able to what improve the performance of your model also. Again, statistically, these values have a lot of values like precision, recall, F1 score, and so on. So you will use that to what particularly improve the performance of your particular model. Let's see. Uh, yeah, just see. Let's go to model performance. Do we have any? No, it's still running. Yeah. Perfect. You see, you would be able to see the performance. All right, it trained successfully. There was no enough data. Definitely, I should have used at least 15 data for that matter being. Now you can see the class type. All right, the values it has generated. You can see the test value. All right, if any data set distribution and so and so. The confusion matrix that's been generated. So just to let you know that this becomes very much easier, all right, from the perspective of maybe someone who wants to train a custom model. And you can use this value because I had say it's obvious that maybe the data that I used, it was a ready data set. And of course, the values that you get are 100%. But you can definitely use that in terms of what say evaluating your model based upon maybe if there are any failures, you can definitely consider that to prove it accordingly. And later, once it's been done, you can what deploy your model. All right. You can add a deployment. All right. And create a new deployment team. All right. And you can definitely what make it available for your end users to make predictions about. So your user as a user, you can use programming SDKs, application requests, API calls can be made on the deployment where this model is being made available, and the model will be able to generate responses based upon the logic it has captured upon. So what is happening with in this case is that with respect to the particular custom model that we just created, is that you have labeled your text, and of course you're evaluating it for a custom prediction for that matter. Okay, so that's what we have as a part of this session today. All right, on this particular NLP capabilities. So what had we discussed here? We talked about Azure AI language service, which can be used for most of your NLP tasks. whether for Q&A, whether it's for text classification, or speech-enabled applications, and so on and so. And we saw that how particularly your NLP makes a handshake with conversational AI. So when we talked about AI language, we talked about some pre-built features that it can retrieve about. We also talked about particularly some custom features that can be retrieved about for the matter being. And finally, we also talked about Azure Bot Service that can make use of your bot framework services and SDK. And before we ended up, what had we discussed? We talked about particularly say about the custom text classification capability that your Azure AI language service makes it available, all right, to make custom predictions on the text that is to be classified. Okay, so with that, it's a wrap on my part with respect to this content on this interesting, exciting masterclass. I believe you found value, you learned something new. There are in-depth analysis aspects that could have been covered, but yes, that's something that you can think about with respect to courses aligned to this particular portfolio. Okay, having gone through this, what is the next part that I would like to have covered is with respect to getting yourself certified. All right. And you know the kind of immense value Microsoft certifications bring onto the table. All right. So you can definitely consider yourselves getting certified with respect to courses with respect to the AI domain. Um, of course, you can explore this particular ebook, all right, which really quantifies the kind of value that Microsoft certifications bring in the context of maybe standing out among your peers, the kind of value it brings in potentially in the tech space for that matter being. So again, it comes with a lot of benefits, all right, especially for your Microsoft role-based trainings that you can consider about, all right. You can get yourselves enrolled for a particular instructor-led classroom training, definitely, where individual trainers can definitely, you can interact with the trainers, definitely to, again, reap the benefit of the expertise they bring in with extensive years of experience that they have in. And as a part, there are a lot of say benefits that comes in, right, with respect to the labs that you get for 180 access, the recordings that would be made available. We have a fully accessible team that is available for 24/7 support for that matter being, all right, free repeats, all right. You have an exclusive portal which is being customized to make offer you with say exclusive experiences for you, the learners for that matter being. So consider that, all right, from the perspective of maybe with respect to the certifications that you can really think about. And there are some few more benefits that I want to very quickly highlight about with Microsoft certifications. Um, all these certifications are very much aligned to the professional roles, and you can say renew these certifications at no cost for that matter being. It's just a one-time investment. You don't have to pay for maybe say renewing or maybe say passing any future examinations. So it's a one-time investment that you can think about. All right. So you can really say get benefited on those levels for that matter being. Okay. So if you choose to say renew your certification 6 months prior to your expiry, that will be say it comes at free of cost. Fundamental courses do not expire. All right. For an associate level examination, definitely it does expire, but you can definitely renew it before the 1 year bracket period for that matter. So stay on the top. All right. Stay updated with the current rules, and definitely AI has a lot of demand, and the next big thing is definitely AI, and you will see a lot of integrations coming in. So yes, keep yourselves on the track, and we at Netcom can offer you with, say, a bunch of exclusive learnings or maybe, say, custom trainings that you want to consider with respect to your learning track that you want to consider for it. So, yeah, consider that part. All right, get in touch with my team. They can definitely take you to the next level with respect to what is your requirement.
Thank you, Gino. That was most informative. I know everyone is looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And while you do that, I would like to give the presentation rights over to Sagnik, our vendor manager, to introduce you to our promotions and webinar-related courses.
So as you can see on my screen, this is the event handout that you all have received. Once again, we thank you all for taking out the time and joining our masterclass today. As part of this handout, you'd see the content section wherein the different sections within the document have been listed here, and everything is hyperlinked. So you can quickly use these links to jump to the specific section of the document. Before we proceed, it's worth mentioning that Netcom Learning, we are the proud winners of the Microsoft Partner of the Year award for 2 years in a row. So as we say, the legacy continues. In 2022, we were the Partner of the Year worldwide, and in 2023, we were the Partner of the Year for United States. And we are also a Microsoft Cloud Solutions partner. That means that we have capabilities across all the 6 solution areas recognized by Microsoft. A few more things about us. We are in the training industry for over 25 years now, having serviced over 80% of the Fortune 1000 companies, serviced 100 plus US military bases. Overall, we have trained 1 million plus professionals across 36,000 plus unique enterprises, and we enjoy a 96% recommendation rate from our customers. All our trainings on Microsoft are delivered by instructors that are certified and authorized by Microsoft. And our overall instructor pool stands at about 3,200 plus certified professionals. We are your one-stop solution for all your corporate upskilling needs with official training across every major technology and business solution provider. So as we can see over here, we are an authorized training partner for all the industry leaders across Microsoft, AWS, Cisco, CompTIA, PMI, EC Council, and others. Now, within this handout, you would also find this particular page wherein you can find the session recording. You can use the link to access the recording for today's session and revisit the concepts that were covered in today's masterclass. On this page, you'd find the link to access your complimentary courseware and the digital badges. The same landing page that we covered at the beginning of my presentation. You can find the direct access link here, and the link to which is also available on your chat on GoToWebinar. Also, all the participants will be given access to Netcom 365. It is our student portal that includes a lot of features and resources for you to take advantage of to supercharge your skilling journey. All you need to do if you're accessing it and activating it for the first time is set up your password and then you'd be good to go. We highly recommend everyone to explore our learning portal to take full advantage of all your skilling resources. Now let's quickly take a look at some of the latest offers on Microsoft trainings and certifications. First off, we have the Microsoft Quick Start program, which is applicable across the entire portfolio, encompassing Azure, Security, Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, and Power Platform. It is truly the best-in-class exclusive enterprise discount offering on your end-to-end Microsoft training across the official portfolio. The pricing model is quite simple and straightforward. If you have a team, if whether you are a large organization or a small organization, and you have a team to train across departments or within the same department, we have two options for you depending on your team size. If you are looking to train more than 15 learners, you would be getting a flat discounted pricing of $300 per day per learner. And of course, as the number of days for the particular training increases, the amount also increases, but you get significant savings on this. If you are having a smaller team that is 14 learners or less, then you still are entitled to a $400 discounted flat pricing per day per learner. This really accounts to huge savings when it comes to large scale training. So we highly recommend everyone to get in touch with us, explore the offering by clicking on the link provided in this handout. And all your trainings can also be customized based on the specific projects and workloads that you and your team, your organization is working on. And our industry specific subject matter expertise encompasses a wide range of verticals, as you can see over here, from banking and financial services, healthcare, federal and state and local government, to education, energy, manufacturing, retail, consumer goods, and more. Next up, we have the Microsoft value of certification. Uh, we highly recommend, along with Microsoft, that whenever you're investing in your skilling journey, be it in terms of your time and effort or your training funds, it's always recommended to secure your skills by getting the validation and approval from Microsoft. So what it does is certification from a decision maker perspective. You want to ensure that the ROI on the training is guaranteed. So this is like a quality control on the training investments that you make for your team. So once your team completes the skilling, they can take the associated certification exam to make sure that they are eligible and they qualify under the standards that have been set by Microsoft on the related technologies. And if you are a learner and a professional, it is a great career booster for you, right? The credential of being Microsoft certified is industry recognized, and these are industry aligned to specific job roles, and these demonstrate the real world skills required to solve real world business challenges. So these badges add a lot of value to the credibility of your profile. It enhances your job prospects and career growth. For a limited time, we have a 10% exclusive discount on all Microsoft certification exam vouchers going on right now. We highly recommend, if you are considering taking training or getting certified, this is the right time for you to do so. The link has been provided on this particular page of your handout. We highly recommend you to avail the same. Also, you'd find that if you have a team, if you are a big organization or a small organization, having a team that you're looking to train, our 2-hour private group training demo is also a great option for you as the next step. It is free of cost, as we say, you can see over here, and it is customizable as per your needs. So rather than a public delivery, which was the format of today's session, you're going to get a private group training wherein our instructor is going to connect with you, understand your specific requirements, and our learning consultants are going to map out your specific needs and accordingly tailor the skilling plan that makes sense for you and your business. So these training demos are provide a great value because these are customizable. All the trainings are delivered by our top rated trainers, and you get a complimentary skilling plan consultation, allowing you to get clarity on which specific courses are needed to be taken by your team. And in case you are a large organization, you are a multi-shore firm with multiple divisions and your workforce spread across geographies, or you have multiple business units within the same organization, the skilling needs kind of get complicated in those scenarios, right? But how do you manage your training funds in that case? And that's why we have the Learning Passport, which provides a flexible team training package. Basically, you park all your training funds with us for 12 months. And within these 12 months, you get exceptional value on the funds that you invest, right? Up to 100% increase of your fund value is what you can experience with our Learning Passport. And these funds are flexible. That means you can use it to train irrespective of the individual that you want to opt in for. A simple distinction with the Netcom Plus is that it is mapped to the specific learner and it is only valid for that learner. But in Learning Passport, you get that additional flexibility that for one particular course, you can pick one particular learner, and for another, you can use your same training dollars for another course. This is basically giving you unlimited access to our entire authorized training portfolio of 4,000 plus official courses. So we highly recommend you to check this out if you have such skilling requirements, especially keeping in mind that the end of the year is coming, and we are aware that organizations need to finalize their training budgets. If they don't use it, they kind of lose it. So this is an ideal solution for you guys to park your training funds and make sure you get the ultimate value all year round. Now we will take a look at the recommended courses that we have over here. You can see the courses that are related to today's topic have been mapped here, divided by fundamentals and role-based. So we highly recommend everyone to click on these links. All of these are hyperlinked. Pick the item that you want to explore, and you'd be redirected to the official documentation that we have on these particular courses. Also, please note that all the courses that are delivered by Netcom Learning are delivered by subject matter experts. You get additional perks like 180 days access to virtual labs wherever applicable. Also, you get access to 90 days to the class recordings to revisit the concepts. You get full access to our Netcom 365 portal, as well as you can repeat the classes free of cost within a specified duration if you want to revisit or you couldn't attend the first time. We also have a couple of free resources mapped here, like our upcoming free event and a blog. We highly recommend you to explore those as well. With that, I'd like to thank everyone. Do follow us on our social handles, and we hope to see you soon once again on one of our events and classes. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Sagnik. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. Our first question is, does natural language processing require only language service to scale in terms of intelligence?
Uh, so that's a very interesting question that you have asked in terms of natural language processing and language. See, language service in itself is a very extensive service that offers in the capabilities, the pre-built capabilities when it comes to AI attribute retrieval that you want to do with natural language inputs. But yes, Azure does offer you with say a lot of other custom say attribute retrieval that is possible. For example, the translator, you have the speech, you have, say, the custom services that you can consider that you can train about. So, of course, it's not just AI language, but it's a very extensive service that can be talked about. But you can also consider other services that can extend the capabilities of attribute retrieval with respect to natural language inputs. Yeah.
Second question for the day is, what are the core technologies behind all the AI services we discussed responsible for the features exhibited?
All right. That's a very interesting, or maybe what you say, that's a very deep, a question that requires a deep answer. But I would say that see all these AI models are powered by machine learning models. All right. AI models are pre-trained. You just make a call to these services and they generate responses. But at the back end, there is a huge data set that has been trained upon where the model has been equipped, which is machine learning definitely. For example, in language services, in vision, we use, if you remember in the speech service that we discussed, I talked about neural networks. All right. It's a machine learning, it's a deep learning model for the data being, okay, kind of a task that is available. So, of course, as the right answer would be that there are machine learning models that work on the back end that have been trained on large volumes of data set, deploying a specific technique to make predictions on specific scenarios. So these AI models are just maybe specific to the skill, but there is a generic machine learning model that works on the back end. Yeah.
Final question is it recommended to use these services available from Azure whenever there is a need of custom applications?
Uh, you can use these services if you want to, these pre-built services that are available, where you need not have to be bothered about training the model. But in case if you are someone who's looking for a custom model, so you'll have to bring in your own data, all right, extend the capabilities of these pre-built models, all right, to suit your custom requirements and need these models to make predictions on those levels. So if you're looking for a custom application, so you'll have to bring in your own custom data, and use it to train your custom model. And of course, maybe evaluate it in terms of maybe the performance and predictions, and then definitely generate responses on those levels. Yeah.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.